Nerd Talks.
Welcome back to Nerd Talks. Today we are talking the collector's curse. What does it mean to be a collector? What are the benefits of being a collector, and the downfalls, which are probably more negatives than positives. But it's really about happiness, I think, about collecting, So let's dive right in. Here with Mason today.
Back once again.
So let's just start off. Nerds collected various different things. I can't even probably list all the things that we collect: comics, cards, figures, games, props, manga, Funko, plush statues, plushes, swords. A lot of it is nostalgia. A lot of it is just curating a certain collection. There's a point where it crosses over into hoarding, which I think a lot of people do end up crossing that line from collecting into hoarding. I've in the past had to kind of wheel myself back from just having a bunch of this type of thing. For instance, comics. When I first just recently started getting into comics, I just started buying a bunch of comics, but now I've tailored it back to specific comics, which can lead to bad financial decisions. But also, it's kind of like a thrill of adding something to your collection, especially when it's been, narrowed down, such as your specific collection, which we can get to in a minute. But first, I'd like to know, what was the first thing you started collecting? I have an assumption, but
It's cards. No, collecting cards for so long. It's part of playing the game. You gotta collect the cards to play the game.
Huh? Yeah. A lot. There's TCGs, but a lot of those TCGs are also CCGs, collectible card games versus trading card games. What do you think you had first? Pokemon?
Oh, I definitely Pokemon.
Yeah.
First,
yeah. That would be the same for me. As far as collecting, just getting cards, especially as a kid, end up just trading out on the playground or whatever, and then just kind of having a small collection. I just started to get my kids into collecting, and there's not really nothing's curated. It's just like, I like this guy looks cool, which does, that is how a lot of collections start. Yeah, but often people tend to narrow down collections, especially in like Pokemon, where it's like,
you can't collect every single card.
Right.
Too much at that point.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of people will collect either a certain kind of card, like all full arts, all certain artist. Some people just collect the same card, like just duplicates and copies of one card, or one certain Pokemon. Your collection is
they're all asleep. They're all asleep on the cards, whether that be the Pokemon itself, or the collection of the Pokemon on there. There's even one where they just put out they're just a lady sleeping just on a couch. So I put that one in there. There's some other pretty popular ones too. I mean, there's specific sets, but like of note, there's all the cards that are crochet artworks. And we got all the cards that are claymation artworks are pretty big collector's items too.
Yep, the claymation ones are sick. The crochet are pretty cool too.
Yeah,
I just haven't seen as many of them.
No, I think claymation started way before the crochet ones did.
And I mean, a lot of people do that, and then the same thing I don't think people collect magic cards like they do.
Well, I mean, some people do. Some people really like the artwork.
Sure. I just don't think it's as big as a collecting thing as Pokemon.
Yeah, more of a game.
And then Pokemon also and there's people who do collections, so they'll do a master set, which means you need a copy of every version of the card in the set. Some people take that all the way to the extreme, depending on, some people look like, we need a master set. And it's like all the promos and every version of every card associated with said set. And now we have like Lorcana, which I know people collect that as well.
Yeah.
A lot less, but it's out there. Obviously, there's a lot of Disney adults, Disney nerds that are into collecting that. And then obviously like comics. I don't know anyone. I do know one person on Facebook that we both probably know that collects retro games, but I don't know anyone else that actually holds on to them. But people go crazy for Funkos, just insane types of things to collect. Do you have something that's in your collection, either in your specific sleeping Pokemon collection or just otherwise, that is very just like, this is
the one?
This is the holy grail of the collection?
In my Pokemon collection, I don't think it's any of the sleeping cards. Like the Dragonite I bought because it was playable, even though like it's a expensive card.
Ooh, I like that one.
I would say it's probably now just that tree Pikachu in the forest that I just ended up getting from Ascended Heroes. That one,
Okay.
and that's solely because I'm looking at it from a monetary value. I don't really care that much about the card, but that card's so expensive. Just like, God, I got to protect this thing.
Sure.
But I also have one for Magic. I have a Ragavan that came out back in March of the Machines. They had a slot called the Multiversal Legend slot.
Okay.
But they had a few print runs of it, and one of the print runs doesn't have the actual like certification stamp on it. So all those are misprinted.
Oh.
So I have one of those where it's the Halo foil, and those are the only ones in the sheets that are missing them. It's just missing the stamp.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't even think of something in my collections that I just I still have my Ancient Mew card. That's pretty cool. It's not super crazy expensive or anything like that, but it is, just nice to have. I started collecting the Invincible run of comics, the original run. So I hold those in pretty high regard, mostly because they're expensive right now, just because the show. Have you seen the show?
I have not. I've seen clips of it, and I have a buddy who really, really loves it. Tells me every day I should be watching it.
I don't know. I think you should maybe be watching it. It's pretty good. It really gets into some stuff, but yeah, I would say that's pretty high up there. And then I'm a collector of in-universe props, and I have the most expensive thing, which is also one of my favorite things, is my sword over there. I have the sword of Eowyn from Lord of the Rings, the head that she uses to kill the Witch King of Agmar, and its mount directly from the actual prop company that actually made the props for the movie. So that might be my holy grail item. But also, so to flip to the other side of that, what's maybe the dumbest thing that you spent, more than like $20 that you were just like got it, and then after later on you were just like,
it is that I spent $20. Okay, that was way too much. I have a sealed booster box of the Austin Powers trading card game just chilling in my room. I thought it was funny, and I still think it's funny, but like I have no use for it. It just kind of sits there. It's very dusty. But yeah, I think that's the silliest dumb thing.
Someday.
Yeah,
someday.
One day it's gonna be worth more than all $20 paid for it.
I think $20 for a booster box is wild.
Yeah, and
it's wild.
Hey, it's shake-tastic.
Oh my goodness. For me, I don't know. It's probably, I don't have anything that I am just like, oh, this was really dumb, other than maybe my full entire run of an event that happened in comic books. What is the name of the event? Oh boy. Dang, I can't remember the event. Anyway, so in comic books, there's events that happen, and then it'll be like Civil War was an event that happened in comic books, where it's like there's 8 comic books for Civil War. I don't know how many, so don't come at me. And then like there's spin-offs, right? So I did one of these events, but I have every issue in the whole event, and it's like 60 books.
Oh. That seems just like a whole storyline at that point.
It is the whole storyline. Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Okay.
Everything that happens. Like, so there's like from Cyclops' point of view, and then from like Carol Danvers' point of view, and like she has like three books, and he has like 3 books or whatever. Cloak and Dagger has a set of books. I didn't need to do that.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't need to do that. I could have read that whole thing online, really. The storyline it's okay. It's kind of interesting. It has to deal with the X-Men, which is kind of cool. But so that was pretty dumb that I did. I just subscribed to the whole thing.
But now you have it.
I do have it. I have the full storyline before we run. It's not even like grand over important, you know. Like if it would have been like Civil War level of importance, that would have been really cool to get. Or like there's a new event coming out. That would have been really cool to sign up and get the whole thing. But I didn't need to do this. So
I just thought of a card too that I picked up. I don't know. I like Galisopod. He came out with an SR in one of the sets, right? And so I got the Galisopod EX SR. He just sits in my binder, and I look at him like, damn, this was the worst $34 I've ever spent.
Yeah. Other dumb purchases include various boxes of cards. Like booster boxes of cards. Didn't need to do that. Could easily just go buy the card I wanted instead of trying to search.
Yeah, but there's just something about opening that pack.
Yeah. And I mean, that's part of the problem. So we can move to kind of like why we collect. Do you know why you collect? Do you have a, it just... It's something I think that's in certain people that's just like innate,
Mm-hmm.
And, we're nerds, so we collect nerd shit. It looks like weird stuff to people, but pretty much everyone I feel like collects something, it's
sure.
cool that are, we'll say not nerds, and they're like, maybe they're nerds in their area of expertise or whatever, where it's just like sports memorabilia, guns, people collect just like, it's like, oh yeah, I got this gun and this gun and this gun, and it's like, we're in Wisconsin, by the way. I just gotta throw that out there.
Yeah.
But it's like, you really only need like 2 guns, probably, maybe 3, like a couple for hunting and one for like personal safety. But like, do you need 10 guns?
No, it's definitely a collection at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like people collect silly things. My mom collects what are those little house things you set up for like Christmas nativity sets. But there's like, and she builds a whole village.
Yeah.
Like she gets really into it, and both. I don't get it, but then I'm like, man, yeah, I got all these cool cards. Mom's like, okay, it's a made up creature, and I'm like, so is Santa. Depending who you ask.
Sure. But yeah, what do you think it is, in you that makes you want to collect?
I think it's just the wanting to play the game and then having cool things to show off. Where it's like, the people who don't play the game, they don't care that like you have a competitive deck. You can walk around and be like, oh man, yeah, I got the Mega Frost / Mega Lopunny deck, and they go, okay. But then you pull out like a cool card, and then they're like, oh, okay, now you can talk about it. So like, it's a cool conversation starter. You get to relate with someone on something, but also you just like acquire these things because you want to play the game. So you're opening these packs, you get something cool to put in your collection. The rest, they look for the playable cards, and those go in your deck, and you're like, you can sit there, little buddy. So.
Yeah. And I think there's something about it that's just like nostalgic too, where it's like, back when you were a kid is maybe, when you collected things. I used to collect like Lego sets and stuff too. Or just even like the minifigs. I think some of it is like a fear of missing out on certain things, where it's just like, if I also don't have some of these, some of that, you just kind of feel like you're missing out, especially when you're part of a community. Or a fandom.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think that's the whole, like, what are those little furry monster things with the teeth that came out?
Oh, yeah, the little Labubu's.
Yeah, that's what they're called. Yeah, they're just like, everyone's collecting them, and they're just, you open a mystery box, and maybe you get a cool one that's not in the box.
And that's like the capitalist mindset of fear of missing out, too, because it's like, we do cards in comics. You can read or play with those things, and there's an associated element to those. These are just nothing. Like, they're Funko Pops.
Yeah.
They just sit there in for display.
Yeah.
No hate on what you're collecting.
No, I'm looking at a Funko Pop right now. So clearly.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, I do have a Funko Pop back there. But then I think, I just talked about me being really silly in getting that whole run of comics. I think there's something about completionism too, So like for you, it might be your sleeping Pokemon, where it's like, I don't have that. I got to get it. I got to make sure it's in there.
Yeah, there's a Phanpy at the store from Hans Phantoms that's in reverse hollow where he's sleeping. I get that one. I don't have that one. He's just taking a nap.
I got to get it. Yeah. And I mean, I got that full run of comics. That was silly. But now I'm working on the full Invincible run, which, you know, if I had my way and I had the full Invincible run, 144 comics, you know, that's probably like 10 and 12. We'll say between 10 to 15, depending on condition, $1,000 worth of comics, which is pretty unnecessary. The wife's not going to watch this, so that's okay.
Boy.
You know, okay, well, we're on the topic of money real quick. I asked you before if you had, you know, like Collector is a good app that keeps track of you know, how much you have. So
Yeah.
right here's my portfolio of Pokemon and Magic cards.
Go for it.
It's at $2,000, which is pretty low.
I was going to say, yeah. I thought it was going to be higher than that.
No. I sell a lot and then rebuy and
Yeah, I'm also always afraid to like start doing that because then I'd start tracking the numbers a little too extensively. Like I already track the numbers the way it is for certain things. If I was tracking everything I had, I think I'd go a little bit like, do I need to start moving some of this? Because like I already had to buy a safe for the amount of stuff that I have. Like there's now a fireproof safe. I got it this year that just houses a lot of the expensive cards that I just had sitting around for a little bit. So
yeah.
I think there is like it's cool to track it, but there's also like a point where you're like, I don't know if I want to track it. I don't want to have like this associated with me necessarily at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like it's a little too much. We're just like, what is this guy actually doing?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I like, you know, I like to keep track of it because there's a part of it too where some of the stuff is investments, especially like when you look at Pokemon cards, you look at like comics specifically in those two areas. A lot of the stuff you can buy now, or you get it for a cheaper price and then you're able to, you know, sell it later. And I've done this quite a bit, and I do it with comics now. My estimated value of my comic collection is about $3,000, which is kind of insane because I just started collecting in like October.
Yeah.
I've only paid less than that, I won't say.
All right. So you got some ones that are moving up.
Yeah. Well, and like, you know, something like this. So this isn't anything grand or great, but this is a number one of the new Daredevil that just released this year. Mm-hmm. It is signed by the artist of the cover. She's a popular artist that does a lot of covers like this. And then I got it in a 9.8, which is, you know, like basically the highest you could get on a comic. A 9.9 is like crazy hard to get, and a 10 is basically like it had to come straight out of the factory. Mm-hmm. No damage at all. So a 9.8 is basically the most realistic high you could get. So I mean that's, you know, theoretically maybe valued at like $350. Okay. And I didn't pay that much for it.
Okay.
I paid, you know, $50 for the comic, $20 for the signature, and $70 to get it graded. So theoretically up like $200 if I was to sell it.
Yeah.
So things like that, you know, and you know, you can see this with people who have Pokemon now. A lot of Pokemon is beginning to move around very quickly, and prices are going up because everyone's trying to just sell it, I think, a little bit higher than the last person that they had it from. And then, you know, we can also talk about, I don't know if I have it on the notes here, but, you know, there's scalpers and stuff like that. There's people that are putting, you know, hurting, you know, some of the collecting and stuff like that. And it's really about collecting and then collecting for money, which I do a little bit. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's when you start to hurt everyone else, I think, is when.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like the people who are sitting there at a Target just like taking everything. Yeah, and it's different than the person who's like, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to pick up like 2 of the boxes. And when you go there and they're like, there's only 3 boxes. And you go, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe I'll only get 1 just so other people get a chance,
Right.
you know. And like you're doing it because you still want the things, but at the same time, you're like, you're being nice about it versus
just grabbing everything,
children
grabbing the
in.
whole display thing. If I see you at Walmart, Meijer, Target, any big box store, and I see you grab a whole display box and put it in your basket, even if I don't want the product, I'm taking the shit out of your cart. Taking it out of the cart, I'll put it on my own cart. You won't get physical. You won't do it.
Well, I mean, some people do. And some people do it with the wrong ones. Have you seen the ones where like they push a child in the and child's just like trying to get a pack Pokemon?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I'm getting in there.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up. There's no lines inside the store unless we're at the checkout line.
Correct. Yeah.
Why are we lining up to get Pokemon cards? I should be able to just grab this one box. I just want one ETB. I want the little cool promo that's in it, and I'll open a couple of packs with my kids or whatever. I shouldn't have to fight you. like almost literally fight someone just to get Pokemon cards. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is really crazy.
Oh my god. Speaking of money, collecting does get expensive, you know. There's a whole thing, you know, with like we were just kind of talking about trying to one up the sale. Yeah, the grading. So grading is a big thing where it's, if you can get a good grade on it, you can, you know, sometimes double, triple, quadruple, quintuple the price of the item.
So that Pikachu, when we talked about earlier, getting that one sent in for grading.
Yeah.
That one comes back at 10, it quadruples in value, which I found to be crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, normally I don't grade cards, but then someone was like, yeah, you probably should grade it because you're never going to play with that card. That card's bad. I was like, yeah, that card is bad, but people really want it, you know?
Yeah.
And so they said, grade it. And I looked at the prices of a grade in 10 and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And like, even a 9 is still crazy. You're still like doubling to tripling your money. It's like, it's crazy to me as a player who's like, you're putting it in a giant like thing and then not touching it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Same thing for comics. It's like, you put it in there, I can never read that comic.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Obviously, I got a different version of it to read, but,
okay.
you know, yeah, once it's in there, it's stuck in there, but usually they go up in value, usually, especially if it's something valuable. You get it graded. Usually, times over, do you get money back on it? Now, there is a thing currently, you know, in the collecting space where people don't want stuff graded too. I don't know if you know about this. There's like almost an anti-grading culture as well as a grading culture. Mm-hmm. So there's kind of both out there. You have people who will buy things in slabs and then break open the slabs, even if it graded high.
Yeah.
Just because some things are easier to move raw than they are graded. I fall somewhere in between. You know, I like to get a couple of things graded. So I got this graded, and then the comic right behind it, I also got graded. So I got this graded at C2E2, and then I got that graded, just because I wanted to do it. I never did it before. This I did proper. This was a drop off in C2E2, so you get it back the same weekend. But this took probably 6 months for me to actually get that back.
All right.
But yeah, I think it's an interesting thing to do as far as the grading. You know, a lot of it too is just looking at speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon is going crazy right now. I would say comics are doing okay. They're kind of like on an up right now. I think there's a big collecting wave going on right now. I think Pokemon's at the lead of that, but everything else I think is kind of being pulled behind it. Comics, even sports cards I've seen are starting to go up, and sports cards were at an all-time low recently of just like being like, no one really collecting them except for mostly older gentlemen. But I think everything is kind of getting pulled up, you know, and I think that's where the boo-boo kind of caught on real quick. It's like, oh, if we could release this, you know, nonsensical thing, you know, and people are going to buy it. But yeah, I think just everything is going up. I think Pokemon is pulling everything with it. I think everyone's really trying to ride the wave of Pokemon cards right now. Some of it for investment, I think. I think most of it's probably it's investment.
Yeah, probably.
It's, you know, it's really a terrible time to actually just be like a collector.
Just a normal collector, who's like not doing it for financial thing. You're just like, oh man, that one looks cute. Gotta put it in the binder, you know. It's like, now it's $20.
Yeah.
And you're like, so that shouldn't be $20, you know. Well, there's also this weird thing too that I've also been noticing. Ever since starting to look at like grading and stuff, like you were talking about how a 9.8 is really, really good on a comic, right? And a 10's really good on a Pokemon card. Mm-hmm. There's people out there collecting 1s when it comes to Pokemon cards.
Oh yeah.
Because figuring this out. They're really hard to get, actually. Like, people are like, oh my goodness, a 10 black label, like, that's the most pristine thing. You're like,
Sure.
Arguably, a 1's just as hard, because you have to beat it enough where they don't send it back to you and be like, we're not going to grade this. But you have to beat it enough that it doesn't get the lowest average score, which is just a flat 2.
Yeah.
So it's like a really hard thing to get. I didn't know that was a thing up until like maybe 6 months ago when I started looking into all this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know people that'll be like, yeah, get like, even people just be like, I'll just take 8s. 8s are fine, you know, and it is interesting. For comics, it's kind of the same way, too, where it's like, these are brand new comics that came out in the last year, so 9.8 is really what you want.
Yeah.
But if it's like, you know, I'm trying to think of an iconic comic that you might know of, but just like, there's a Hulk comic where Wolverine has his claws out, and there's a reflection of Hulk in his claws, which is like one of the most iconic covers of all time.
Sure.
But if you had like a 3 or a 4, perfectly acceptable. It's like, you'd be like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah.
And it's still like hundreds of dollars, like a few $100s, and it's just, yeah. It's interesting. Grading culture is definitely interesting. You know, I want to go to some more, you know, there's like Collecticon. I don't know if you've seen these Collecticons.
I've seen.
So stuff like that, where it's just like, a lot of that stuff is cards, but just interesting to see, you know, how everything is working. There's like all these conventions now that are mostly cards, but they sometimes have other things, and they're just kind of all over the place right now. So it's a really big thing, I think, collecting right now. And you have, I don't know about you, but I've in my algorithm destroyed my algorithm by collectors with like streams, and they'll like live stream themselves at a convention.
Nope. Don't have to see those.
Okay, so basically what it is right, so it'll be a guy, and he's, you know, now he's, you know, Twitch or YouTube payments or whatever, right? So he's just standing at the table, he's got all the stuff in front of him as you would at a normal convention. People will come up, and then he'll just have the interactions like normal. But there's a camera right there just showing the whole thing, and either they're live streaming it or recording it.
Good.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know the value of watching it, but sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's just like fun, or like, you know, you see some really sweet stuff happen, like a sweet human intimate moment happen.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes you see some really scummy shit. And a lot of collectors, they'll like record themselves getting fake cards, and like the big thing for fake cards is just to destroy them.
Yeah.
Well, we can come towards the end of our show here. You know, we already kind of talked about our really big mainstay item. Do you have anything that's at the center of your collection? It's like the first thing you would show off?
Yeah, I actually have so in the binder that I have all the sleeping dudes in, I have a page right before it. I'm just like, guys I like, and like that have a cool card. And the Golisopod, he's right out there. He's on there. There's also a Trubbish, or not, a Garbodor, IR that's in there. So in Pokemon, they call it illustration rares, or special illustration rares if they're like the high-end thing in the set. And I got it pristine out of a pack, and then it got bent in half.
Oh my god.
And so now he just kind of lives in the binder. I'm like, yeah, the garbage guy, and he's bent in half, you know? So there's that page. It's got like the White Flare Reshiram too, which was an all whited out card that people were super hyped about. There's the Shiny Gardevoir in there from whatever set that was that people also super hyped about. So just like, that's the cool stuff page, and I flip it over because most people don't care after that point. I flip it over and I go, ooh, they're sleeping. So there's that. But there's also one thing I want to get back that like I don't have anymore because I sold it to get into Magic.
Yep, I was just gonna ask, but one thing you regret selling?
Yeah, is the Gold Star Umbreon.
Oh,
so back in the days, that card was only like, I want to say like $500 to $700, right? And I was a kid. I was like, whatever. I just kind of want to play Magic, right? And it's kind of expensive to play Magic, but it looks fun. And so I was like, I'm a kid. I don't got money. I sold it to get into Magic, right? I probably, at this rate, unless I become famous out of somewhere or just the money rains from the sky, I'm not going to touch one of those for a while. So
Do you know what they're at right now?
They're well over $5 at this point.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like, people always talk about like a Shadowless base set Charizard, and we're talking stuff that like, sure, that Charizard's up here, but it's it's like riding its coattails at this point if you're finding one that's in similar condition. They're it's just
hard to get.
Oh. One day I'll have it back.
I don't know if I have anything I regret selling. Some Pokemon cards, I guess, but I don't have anything I'm hugely sad about. I did sell my shiny Gardevoir card, and now it's doubled in price, which isn't a lot. It's like $180 right now. It was probably...
Hey, I got mine for $35.
It's probably around $100 when I sold mine. Well, I pulled mine, so...
Oh, look at you.
It's
It's my favorite part too. If you pull it, you don't have to factor any of the cost. It was always free.
yeah.
Only profit.
Collector's math.
Yep.
Collector's math.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spent $200 on the box,
Yeah.
but I opened the cards, so I've only made the whatever the cards were.
I've only bought 40 packs, and this one guy pays off.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Do you have anything you would never sell? I don't think, like, obviously, like, I have a collection of things on the wall over there. Obviously, I'm not going to probably ever sell any of those things because it just wouldn't make any sense to. But
I would love to say no, but like since most of my collection is cards, it is at some point like if I ever find myself in a sticky pickle as much as I wouldn't want to, like I probably would.
Yeah.
But I would probably say that sleeping collection's probably never going anywhere. Where that front page are just like cards that I find cool. That, like, sure, they might have a value to them, or I just like them, like the bent in half Garbodor. There's also some cards I keep on my desk, like that Ragavan. He chills on my desk. He's actually at a grading company right now, but he chills on my desk. And then there's a Charizard and Charizard V-Star and Umbreon VMAX player stamp rewards cards, the ones you get from playing promo packs. Those are probably never going anywhere either. They're probably just going to chill on my desk for forever.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, and my giant Cubone statue. I also own a Funko Pop, but he's gigantic. He's like this tall.
Yeah.
He's huge.
I think
He just sits on my desk. He takes up a lot of space though. It's like this wide.
It's like a full size.
It's like a child. It's like the size of a child.
It's like the size of a real coupon.
Yeah, probably. I didn't actually do that math on that, but it's probably the size of a real Cubone. Thing's huge.
Life-size Cubone.
Yeah.
Sick. You know, obviously, like I said, I have stuff on the wall over there. I probably would never sell. I mean, if I came down to it and I really was stopped, you know, really being a nerd, and I was going to get rid of some stuff, I might sell. I probably would sell, I guess, a decent chunk of the stuff over there. Probably not my lightsaber. That I will probably just keep until I die. I made that lightsaber, and it cost me a lot of money at Disney World. And I have a lot of comics that I do prize. I have a Daredevil collection that I really like, of old Daredevil comics, not like that.
Oh.
That I really like. My Invincible run is the thing I was thinking about, but I probably would sell Invincible comics, even though I'm trying to collect them all. I would probably just flip some of them to get different ones. But I know one thing I wouldn't sell, and that's probably my Invisible Woman. There is Invincible Woman as well. Invisible Woman collection. I have a bunch of comics that are all Fantastic Four, all from this run, and they're basically all just Invisible Woman covers.
Right.
Very, very particular on that collection. So I probably wouldn't sell that. You know, and I guess the last thing I just want to talk about is the space. How much space are you taking up with your collection?
Oh, so much space. I think at least because I live in one room, like I just got one room.
Sure.
It's about a good quarter of that room.
Okay.
Which, in like some people's mind, probably not a lot, but when you think about it, like
It's a lot.
It's a quarter of a room that also has to house my bed and my laundry bin and my dresser and my clothes. And now you're like, oh, there's like a floor to this room. And you're like, yeah.
This whole room is basically my collection.
Yeah.
It's basically just this room. I literally have shit everywhere that is just like miniatures over there. There's comics and stuff behind you. I have probably like 4 or 5 helmets in this room.
You got the masks too.
Yeah.
We got the plushes back there.
Some plushes behind me. Right there.
With the Funko Pop.
With the Funko Pop back there. It's a My Player. I had to get it. I have just a stack of comic book boxes in the corner over there. That's just comic books. My shelf over there. Oh my God, I didn't even talk about my D&D book collection.
Oh, yeah.
Also very specific. It's not just a bunch of random books. I actually, at one point, started to collect every special cover from the original 5th edition run. So basically every book that they released after Strixhaven, I'm pretty sure I have the special edition cover for.
Okay.
Just nerd shit.
For sure.
Just nerd shit.
For sure.
But yeah, this is a pretty short episode. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to discuss.
I think we should do one hot take on collecting.
Okay, sure.
Let me generate it though.
Oh, okay.
Got to think about it.
I will. I have a hot. It's not. I don't think it's that hot of a hot take, but your collection's too vast. Is that a hot take? Your collection's too vast. If you're watching and you're like, I have a thing that I collect, it's too vast. You have too much. You're hoarding. Narrow it down. Get specific. I wanted the Fantastic Four run, the newest run that they came with. I said, I'm only going to get the Invisible Woman covers. That is it. You know, I have one specific run of Daredevil comics that I want, and then the Invincible comics. That is it. All the other comics that I have over there is hoarding. They should probably just go.
But are you going to get rid of them though?
I will try my best. Comics are a little bit harder to move than like cards.
Yeah.
I get rid of all my bulk. I do every once a month usually. I travel to wherever I can to dump off my bulk of cards so that I don't have just a bunch of random cards laying around. Obviously, I keep like playables and stuff like that, but anything that's just like random stuff, I get rid of all that. I have D&D books over there. I should probably sort through those and get rid of the ones that aren't part of the actual collection or ones that I use. But your collection's too vast. You're not narrowed down far enough, and you're just hoarding at this point.
I think there's a caveat to that, and I think it's if it's unsorted, you know, like there are people who have like a library of like things and it's all sorted, where it's like they have like binder and binder and binder and binder,
sure,
and everything's sorted within there. I don't think that's too much. If you have dedicated space and it's sorted, I don't think it's too much.
That's fair.
But like the pile of cardboard boxes I see over there, that might be too
some of that stuff is shipping. The shipping materials.
But what's shipping materials and what's comics, you know? See, like at that point, it's not sorted.
Yeah. That corner over there, not sorted shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's one box of sorted comics, and then the rest of it is just over there, for sure.
Yeah. So
not saying that I'm not at fault of this. Yeah. I can see a stack of cards over there that is probably just mostly bulk. Actually, that is bulk because of the bulk from our other show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Spells and Squabbles. Go watch it.
Yeah. We'll be out when this episode there.
Sweet. Yeah, I think I've got the hot take.
Sure.
You need to start parting ways with your collection. Honestly, yeah. Not just getting rid of it, but like you need to sell some of that stuff. Okay. Just because there's a finite amount in the world doesn't mean you should go. I gotta hoard all of it. You know. One. You need one. If it's not the one you like, get the one you like. Of that one, get rid of the other one. Okay. You don't need more than one. So if you got Reshiram EX, the white one, right, and you're like, man, I really like that one. Great. You don't need two of that one. You just need the one. Unless your goal is to collect a bunch of Reshiram EX. But in which case, too, don't just collect all the white one. Sometimes it's like, little Timmy's out there. He's crying. He wants a white Reshiram. You're hoarding them. That's not cool, man.
Yeah.
If you got one, understandable. If you got 27, you can give one to little Timmy. You can give one to little Timmy.
Yeah. One of the same thing is it's an interesting collection technique.
Yeah. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, you know, be reasonable with it.
Yeah.
Don't be a stingy guy.
Yeah. I think both points are, you know, just like you got to narrow it down. You got to. There's, you know, we're hoarding. We are. Yeah. It is, you know, by definition hoarding. There's a point where your collection, and I said it very early in the episode. I think there's a line, and we cross it very, very often, easily, because it's just like we just like the thing. There's the FOMO sometimes of it. and you just start hoarding it. Do I need these two? I mean, this is part of a very specific collection. Do I need this? No. It's listed on eBay for $350. But no, I don't need it. I did kind of want to just see my hand at grading a signed comic, so that's kind of what I was doing there. But yeah, I have most of my stuff for sale. I try not to hold anything, like I said, I have those very specific for comics. For Pokemon, it's mostly just like illustration rares, filling out the Pokedex of illustration rares. Other than that, unless it's a playable card that I might need to rotate into at some point, parting ways with it, sell it.
Yeah.
I sell cards pretty regularly. Sometimes it's not even like, sometimes it's big amounts of bulk. Sometimes it's like 5-10 cards that I just seen that are just, let's just get rid of this and I can get something else or do something else.
For sure.
Sell $20 worth of cards, take yourself out to dinner. Do it all the time. What else? Anything else? Did you have any other spicy hot takes? I don't think those are hot takes. I think they're a little bit of hot takes, but also it's just like, yours is more of a hot take than mine.
Yeah.
Mine was just like,
I think yours is more advice.
PSA.
Yeah.
You're hoarding.
I think I do have another hot take, and this one popped in my head. This one I might even be wrong, but like, your collection is stupid. Your collection's dumb. Okay, I'm saying that sleeping. I'm collecting sleeping Pokemon.
No,
that's dumb.
No, that's a good one.
I mean, I think it's good, right? Other people think it's good. General mass, that's stupid.
Okay. Yeah.
You cannot be mad at someone when someone does not show an interest in your little collection of like dudes and guys. Where it's like, oh man, I'm collecting Charmanders, and someone goes, I don't care. I don't like Charmander.
Yeah.
I think he's dumb. He's got a bulbous head. His tail's on fire, and he's got a little beery belly. Okay, get him out of here. So when someone has a reaction like that, like, is that a little harsh? Sure, but just know
Charmander.
your collection is stupid. Okay, my collection is stupid.
Yeah.
His collection's definitely stupid. Don't collect comics. It's dumb.
Yeah. Unless you want to.
Yeah, but just overall, your collection's stupid.
Yeah, it really is. And just like, you can't be mad at people for not, I have swords. I wouldn't say I have, I don't know, 4 swords. Is that a collection? I feel like that's starting.
It's like the start of a collection.
I feel like that's collecting.
I mean, are you out there fighting with them?
No.
Yeah, they're dead.
That one over there has seen a little bit of action, but.
Oh, okay. Then. Other than that, no, I think they're collectibles.
Yeah.
Like you're out there collecting swords.
They're hanging on the wall, so there you go. Yeah. I think I agree. I think your collection is probably dumb, and it's fine if it's dumb, it's for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel joy in it.
Correct.
But most other people are just like, if I walked downstairs and told my wife like how much money is invested into the comic collection in this room, I would probably have to stop this show.
Yeah. No, my uncle's the same way. He's got an expansive card collection. He's got his Mews. He's got his Charizards. And my aunt, she is not a fan. She is not happy. Yeah. But all I'm saying is his collection done? Yeah, his collection's done. He's spending hundreds of dollars to get these cards. But is he happy with his cards?
Sure.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And the people he shares with brings him joy to them too, right? Not everyone. Clearly, his wife is not happy. But this is the lukewarm part of the take. Actually, it's probably cold. This is the proper part of the take.
Sure.
That person's also dumb. They're hating on the thing is bringing you joy. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Don't bring someone down because they're thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also your collection's still stupid.
That is true. Yeah. So I think we're gonna end our episode there. The collector's curse. We have it. I think all humans innately just have it. Nerds have it. I think the worst because they market the stuff that we like to be collectible. And that hurts us a little bit. You are hoarding. Stop hoarding. Collect proper. And whatever it is you're collecting, it's stupid.
But be happy with it.
Of course. Always make sure you're happy. And don't get yourself into financial issues. Don't do that.
Yeah. No sticky pickles.
That happens to people. But thanks for hanging out with us. It's going to be the end of our show today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and then let us know what you collect. And then make sure that you tell us what you collect Make sure you tell us what you collect and then specifically what you collect. If you find yourself typing Pokemon cards, but then you can't enter what type of Pokemon cards after that, you're hoarding.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But I don't want to hear, like, oh, man, I collect Pokemon cards. I like Charizard. That's not what we mean.
No.
We mean, like, I'm collecting the arts where they're taking it out. Are you collecting the cards from, like, I need all of Ectopolis? Like, that's specific. Where you're like, I need this one set. I don't care about anything else. Or, like, I need the Yukamori clay artworks, you know? Get specific with it.
Gotta be specific. Warrior hoarding. Thanks for hanging out with us and have a good game.